So there's some weird nerves going on here, and you're also going to see all the mess ups that I do, possibly, unless I have a perfect first time run. Also, I'm on my phone. So that's going to be really whack if people make comments in the chat. If anybody pops in, I'm probably not going to see it. I mean, I've never done this before, but I'm probably not going to see it on my phone. So that's going to decrease interactivity. But I've got some work to get to today. So I wanted to get the review out without doing any editing. So hell yeah, let's check out the package and then let's jump in the box. Quick impressions. You know what? The black and the orange with the red, you know, it just doesn't do it for me. Initial impression. I do love that pose. Not much to see here, but I like the fact that we get 2 extra portraits. That's dope. Very dope. You get 2 different looks at the wings, and you attach the entire back. We're going to take a look at that. Mafex. All right, let's open them up and let's get them out. No insert, but a dope piece of art there. I'm not sure if that's from a particular comic book or if it's original. It looks like comic book art to me. But hell yeah, it's very dope. This thing always comes with Mafex figures. I've never looked at it ever. Whoa, hands galore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of hands. We're going to look at those closely. 1 additional pair of feet with magnets on the bottom. Check that out. Oh, I can see the comments. What's up, Vince? I can actually see the comments. First live video here, bro. So you're the first comment I've ever seen on my screen. We've got some extra web effects. So we're going to look at those closely in a minute. And then we've got the figure and the figure stand. So let me get this guy out and this stuff out so we can look at that. Oh yeah, dramatic moment. Take the figure out the package. All right, so my lighting always sucks, you know, but if you give me feedback, I'll work with it. Do you have Wall XD? What is that? Is that like a web streaming app or something? What's Wall XD? All right, so I don't know if I can work with like adjusting the blur, but these pieces of plastic always come with Mafex figures. For anybody that's new, we'll drop that right there. And this piece here, and it's intended, I guess, to protect against rub, paint rub during shipping. But that was easy peasy. It's a Dio. Wall XD. Oh no, I know what you're talking about from the Kickstarter. I wasn't able to back it at the time. I was broke. But that stuff is awesome. And I do have it on my wish list. I have it on a list somewhere that I would like to get a few pieces. That stuff is really, really cool. But I don't have any yet. All right, so just a quick look at the figure here. If I get it closer, I do like the deep blue. I thought there might have been some texture on the figure, like on the suit, but it's all really, really smooth. Really clean lines there. Let me see if I adjust the light. On the logo there. And it's painted all the way up to the cut. And look at that stripe all the way up there. So that's really, really great paint. Nice and sharp. Comes with 3 sets of, well, not wings, but, you know, spider wings, spider web. What's that Superman mech in the back? This is Imaginext. That kitty toy line. Yo, they make these sick mechs. I have Superman and I have Joker. They have Batman. Check this out. Boom! As if Superman needed a mech, right? But, you know, maybe he's like, I don't know, green, kryptonited out. Comes with the Superman figure. Yo, I got this for like 18 bucks. And that's like normal price. Imaginext down low has some super cool stuff. I want to get their Super Friends Hall of Justice. They have that. Where's the figure at? Oops. All right, so as you could see, this thing completely came off unintentionally. You know, and you have these huge ball joints. I've never seen the inside of a Mafex figure. Hey, if you turn his face around, that's really weird. Spider weird. Weird tales of spider weird. Yeah, so it just kind of came off on its own by me just flexing and moving the shoulder joint. You know, so I don't know if that's going to become a thing on a regular basis. Look, it comes loose. Where did you buy that 2029? I got this at either Hobby Search or Hobby Link or Hobby Plaza. Don't quote me on that. I've got the box downstairs. I'll put it in the comments after the video. But this back piece, it's gonna come off as you move the shoulder. Look, you see how it has that little crack right there? Did you try to fit a 112 Superman? What's up, Travis? You know what? I didn't read your comment. I didn't see your comment, Vince, about the 112 Superman, bro. So let's just check out articulation here. Travis, you missed the part where this new Spider-Man, you have to separate this piece to switch out the spider cape here, whatever. But it comes off unintentionally, at least on my copy, when you move the shoulder joints too much, or at least too vigorously. See, like there's not even a secure tight snap back on. I don't know if you can see that. But it looks really cool. I think it looks really, really awesome. Sorry, I'm not used to being so far from the camera. My first live ever. It's a beautiful looking fig, man. Drop down. Whoa, super stiff. The drop down is so stiff. What's this? Man, he's got some inner fluids. The drop down is so stiff that the abs gave way, or the waist gave way. I've had more and more QC issues. I mean, that wasn't a QC issue, but I've had more and more QC issues with Mafex figures in recent times. But you're going to get the typical Mafex articulation. You know what I mean? This is the Marvel Legends of high end, right? We know that that shoulder activity is going to give you separation of that back part. These wings look tough. Do you have a lot of Mafex? Maybe like 30 of them. Maybe like 30. I like the Spider-Man. I like some cherry picking in Star Wars. I like the Avengers. And I'll cherry pick some. Like I have Mandalorian. I thought he was really cool. So this guy is really tough. This is a really tough looking figure. Usual stuff with Mafex. Man, he just has some really cool looking lines. All those lines. This is a wonderful looking figure. In the back here, I can give you some comparisons with the other Spidey that I have from Mafex. So we've got the Ben Reilly Scarlet Spider. This is one of my favorite looking characters and figures of all time. I just think the hoodie just puts him in a place. Then you've got the belt, the bracelets. This is a wonderful looking figure. It's pretty much the same exact sculpt. The belt here hides the fact that even the trouser loin piece here is the exact same piece. And you're going to see that with the other Spider-Man. This Mafex figure I actually broke by mistake, and I had to Gorilla Glue. I Gorilla Glued their hand back on. You can't really tell I did a good job. But, man, I love this figure. He's on sale right now at BBTS, but I still can't afford to get a second one. And then I have the retro classic Spider-Man. Significantly different body parts than him, but here you see the torso piece or that loin piece is the same, kind of like V tapered spot piece, and the same sculpting on the legs and stuff. Then I have the black costume Spidey. I don't have Venom. Yeah, they do. The other one does. The other one looked really great. This figure I think is absolutely beautiful. You've got like a lot of shading and like midnight blue. Like, I don't know if you see it here with the black and the blue. I think it looks so awesome. And this figure, they're identical. The sculpting is pretty identical. What you have is different paints. Sorry, I'm looking at it myself. Then I've got the 2099 Marvel Legends. This is the only one of two others that I have for Spidey 2099. And the more recent one from the Spider-Verse. All right, let's take a look at some of the accessories on our friend here. All the joints feel really, really tough. I love the smoothness of it, but they feel really strong and tough. So I don't got to worry about wobble anytime soon. Yeah, I don't know how to adjust the blur. But portrait number 2, and this is different from the first portrait because it has more of like an angry look, and this has more of a relaxed look. And then you get the second portrait that comes with the neck piece with the collar pulled down a bit because he's taking off the mask or putting it on. Pretty cool. The back piece, which right now for me is like a question mark because it seems to just stay separated and not give you a perfectly good seal. And then if you move the shoulders around, it comes apart. But this is another set of wings. I mean, spider cape or whatever the hell it is. There we go. And this stuff is on a hinge and on a peg that is removable, as we saw with the other piece. And these also swivel for you. So that's pretty dope. Let's see what that looks like from the front. That's pretty cool. And to get it off, you could take it off yourself, or you could just do this wiggle action, and it'll create a gap, and then you can just remove it. This one is actually a little bit tighter as I'm talking crap. And then we've got the other one. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this swap the back out mechanism. I don't like having to take out major body parts on my action figure. You know what I mean? To accessorize them. I get it. Mayfex is the champion and whatever. But I'm not a fan of that. I like my figures to be intact. You know what I mean? But that one really did get a pretty decent tight snap. If you can see that there. It's a pretty good seam. And this one is just one long, or rather wide piece compared to the original. And this one will also work on a hinge for you and swivel. From the front, you don't really get a lot of look out of that one, just a little bit of fray on either side. But you could, in theory, do something like that. Or you could do this, like wild spider sense. Frazzed out spider sense. All right, what else we've got going on in here? Oh, look at this. We've got a bunch of these things. And these things go... Oh, they go back here. Well, they go there. That's pretty cool. If I could figure it out. They go in there. You're gonna take my word for it because I don't really use these kind of accessories. I like my figures clean. And I don't really use a lot of accessories. One day I'm going to sell a bunch of accessories on eBay because I don't use them. So yeah, so we've got the wings. That was pretty cool. Let's take a look at all the different hands. He's got a bunch of different hand poses. Since I said let's look at hands, let's start with the feet. We got the magnetic feet, and I think that that's really chill. I think that's really chill. Maybe if I had a refrigerator somewhere, but it's overall just a really chill consideration. It's dope. Now let's look at the hands. We've got the open, splayed out magnetic hands. And these are more emotive splayed open hands. These are the flat standard splayed out hands without magnets. That's hand set number 3. Keep track. There's 4 more, 7 in total. We've got the I'm gonna get your hands. I'm gonna get you. Over here. And we've got the sleepwalking hands. Like that. And we've got the I am Superman hands over here. That's number 6. And last but not least, we've got the Fonzie hands. Hey! Actually, these are web sticking hands. You see the little hole there? Watch the color change. You see that? Ooh. Oops, lost it. There it goes. See that hole? 7 pair of hands. I'll cover that back up. And then you got these web effects, which again, like I'm never going to use those ever in life. But they're dope, you know, for people that like that. You wrap it around his wrist and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those if you're into that. Final thoughts on my friend here. Final impressions. Anybody out there have a final question or you want me to do something snazzy? Pose-wise, I'll try my best. But it's your standard Mafex stuff overall. Oops. You know, that's not happening intentionally. And I'm not being extremely aggressive with that. Let's try it with you, my friend. Hey, let's check out the forward crunch. Oh, man, look at that. That time the leg came out. Ooh, let's go ahead and just go through all the Mafex QC issues. Never mind, before I break all my shit. Are the joints tight? Yeah, they are, bro. The joints are super tight. Super tight. I actually prefer that. You know, because I grew up with that trauma of wobbly figures. Favorite Joe's all wobbly. He-Man legs all over the place. So yeah, I'm into the whole firm, tight joints thing. I think he looks super dope. I've made a conscious, mental note that I want to collect the Mafex Spideys. I was never a diehard Spider-Man guy growing up, you know, which is weird because I love him in action figure form. I did love him in action figure form as a kid. The superhero himself, I thought he was cool, but I was more a Hulk, Superman kind of guy. But yeah, I just love the action figures of Spider-Man. I love all his different suits. You know, the whole friendly neighborhood thing is cool, even though that's not this particular version. But this figure looks tough. I have 3 so far. I don't have Venom, but I don't know if Mafex has made more than 3 Spider-Man either. I don't know. This $20.99 costume is better than animated film. I agree. Yep. You know, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I feel like modern day suits are so uninspired. You know, I remember growing up, I went through those late teenage years or maybe those years in the 20s where you were like, man, you know, retro stuff is so cheesy. It's so corny. Who walks around Who walks around with their underwears on the outside of their clothes? It's so weird. It's so cheesy. You know what? But then as you get older and older and you see other people make attempts, right? You realize that there's something artistically genius about that look. The superhero in his underwear. And it's just a weird commentary now, but that iconic old school suit look, I feel like it's so missing. They're trying so hard to be geometric and polygonal and all kind of crazy shit. It just misses the spirit of looking heroic. I don't know, in my opinion, I don't know. I'm learning more about that in my opinion stuff too. But I think this is a super dope figure. These things are soft plastic. And I don't see a seam there in terms of whether or not it's glued into the forearm, but it could be hidden by the plastic. Keep it simple. Hell yeah, man. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Yeah, he's tough. He's dope. I just am not sure about that. See how I got that gap again? This piece, that singular piece, this singular piece, I don't know. I don't know why I have two of them. They don't, this one doesn't show from the front at all. This one barely shows. So I don't know. The other one makes more sense because it flares out. So I'm going to switch that one because that one was also really tight. I feel like, I honestly feel like this is overkill. Like, I feel like this is so overkill. In a time where plastic is so damn expensive, why give you 3 backs? Why give you 3 backs if, oh, I understand. I get it now. You see, this is why you got to ask questions. I was going to say, why give you 3 backs if it just has these pegs? But I guess Mafex didn't want to put 3 holes on 1 back, right? Because it's all different. So I guess aesthetically, they made the decision, you know what? Let's give them 3 complete backs. I guess. But save the earth, man. All that plastic, bro. But otherwise, I think that's my only complaint. The back mechanism. Yeah, you know what? I saw that figure, and I think like the shading on that Daredevil looks so cool. It looks like such a badass figure. But it's one of those things where it's not like a diehard. I'm not a diehard guy, Daredevil guy. Never was. I always felt like he was such a tryhard. I'm not, now I'm talking about like when I used to be into comics like in the 80s. I felt like Daredevil was such a tryhard, man. He wanted so hard. He wanted to be down so bad, you know. But I was just never really into him, so I just kind of passed on him because 100 and something, you know. But I've got him in some Marvel forms that are pretty cool. I mean, like Marvel Legends. Where's his ears? Where's this guy's ears? He no longer has ears. His ears were sacrificed in 2098. Hey, my brother's in the house. I can't tell you who my brother is. Or did I just mess that up because his name came on the screen? You see, I told you I've never done live before. I've never done this before. Man, I wonder how many of my family members are in here out of the 4 people. But oh yeah, this guy's tough. He's got the airbender arrow on the hands. Hell yeah. This is where we're going to wrap up. Anybody got any quick thoughts before we wrap up? Otherwise, thank you guys for coming out. Now, as part of my learning experience with this first live video ever, once it finishes processing, I'm going to go to my computer and see if I can edit it, you know, and see how that feature works. But overall, I think this has been a pleasant experience. You sold me. We'll buy this soon. Hey, man, you're a good guy. You know, but we both know you probably wanted this guy anyway. But thanks, Trav. You're the best. And I really mean that. But I think I got to do a better job probably with posing or something because I was nervous this first time around. But I just like a really clean, simple look on my action figures in general anyway. Even though super dynamic poses are awesome too. But I don't leave them in those poses because I don't want to warp the joints or the plastic. You know, childhood trauma, man. Losing your favorite action figure because your brother broke the Blue Lion like 1 hour after your dad brought it home, you know? So now we're dipping into trauma, Travis. We're dipping into trauma, and I'm talking about my brother. Hell yes. Until next time, everybody. I got to put the ending into this because if I'm able to edit it, right? I mean, I want to have a complete package here. Until next time, how does he hear you coming? Who hear me coming? Who are you talking about? That's just weird. Until next time, everybody. Yeah, I have brothers. Hey, God bless brothers. Back in like, I don't remember the year, but back when we were like 17 or 18, and me and my brother and our best friends and their brothers were all hanging out. I mean, man, it was I don't even know, it was like 10 people of brothers. We made up a movie, a martial arts movie, and it was called Brother Against Brother Against Brother Against Brother Against Brother Against Brother. You get the point, you know? Think about it. That would have been genius. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for coming out and sharing in the experience of collecting toys as an adult. You got it, Trav. Thank goodness it's playtime. I forgot the outro. You see, it's